Now, I'm not gonna lie, I walked in with very high expectations that I wasn't expecting to be met because after the end of last episode, in a way, like, it felt season finale-ish, it felt conclusive-ish. Yeah, there's still a long way to go for a lot of things, but at the same time, if you look at the poster image, the promotional material, kind of felt like all the characters, all the main chess players that we were going to have in this game were here. And in doing so, if they've all kind of lost at this point, the name of the show is Too Many Loser Heroines, they would have to change the formula. That's my impression. And if they change the formula, is the new formula going to be as funny and as entertaining as the show's been up to this point? And I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it would still be funny and fun, but I was expecting not necessarily a dip in quality, but a dip in entertainment value, because the way they ended episode 4 made me feel like we couldn't have what we've had up to that point. At least, if that type of content would be there, it'd be every so often, because now that all the main characters have been introduced, they've all had their hearts shattered, it was going to be a different feeling show, and I was wrong. They came in making it feel identical. Sure, it's not just about like, okay, this character loves this character, and now they're getting their heart broken. We have characters like Anna, of course, who's still throwing temper tantrums about how, well, you know, they're like a newlywed couple. It pisses me off. So you have that, and it's like, this is just the natural transition point. And the fact that they can keep the comedy remaining just as strong without necessarily having to watch these characters get pie thrown in their face and their heart shattered. We just continually at long term, because at the end of the day, when someone has a dumb little high school crush, that shit's probably going to last the school year, let's be honest, most of the time. And the idea that this episode just came out swinging, balls to the walls, home run, and if anything, this was probably like the second best episode out of the batch, if we're being honest. It was really, really good, but they proved me wrong, because it really did feel almost like you could have left the series, like, not even just a season, you could have left the series off with how episode 4 was. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but I was told last week, people can correct me if I'm wrong, that apparently originally this was supposed to be a shorter series, and then it did well enough, and then it continued past it, which is why episode 4 kind of felt as conclusive as it did, which would make sense to me, but if not, it's just interesting because without having what was seemingly the gimmick up to this point, which was each character would have a crush, get absolutely broken, and we'd have an MC who's trying to act like a background side character, but is secretly the MC all along. And without having that constantly there, what's the show gonna be? But between just generally, we're in the library, and we have Chica just being a menace and a little gremlin. We have Lemon, who, I don't know, we can walk in on her changing, and she's like, what are you doing? I have clothes here, it's completely fine. To then, what the hell, why is she with this man eating ice cream? To then we have a girl who's like, man, my boyfriend's cheating on me. And he walks in on our boy looking like he's giving it to her doggy. This show's it. This show is absolutely it. And I thought the formula would have to completely go away, and in a way it kind of did go away, but now we're just in an even more chaotic adventure, and I think we got a masterpiece on our hands. Of course, I do have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to any of these episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So let's talk about the end of the episode. So, we have this whole like, okay, is there some cheating going on? You know, well, they were friends, what's going on? And I guess at a distance, it does look pretty sus. I mean, you're getting ice cream together, you're smiling together, it does kind of look date-ish. But I knew it wasn't going to simply be just that. If it is, I'll be shocked. I'll be like, damn, I didn't see that coming. But I love the idea that we run into a change room, and immediately I know it's not going to end well. The fact that she's bent over, her head sticking out of the curtain, and our boy's just right there behind, and he walks in, and he's like, he's pretty chill about it, I'm not gonna lie. He's like, what's going on here? I'll leave it to him to explain this. Comedy gold. Fantastic. I don't envy Nuck at this point having to be the one to explain that, because that does not look that great. But very fun episode, man. It just like, I love the idea that the first like taste of what the show's gonna be now going forward was Anna coming over, eating our curry, and explaining how her father got paid in noodles for the month of July. And I'm like, at first, I thought she got paid in noodles with just that bag, and I was like, there has to be $30 worth of noodles there, and that's what you got paid. But then when you look at the club room, like later on in the episode, there's like boxes, so it does look like he probably got paid an actual value of his paycheck, but just in noodles. But if you ever get paid in goddamn food for your work, you find another job. that ain't it, boss. But I did feel for her, because ultimately she's like, damn, there's only so much noodles I can eat. It's understandable why she ate so much of our curry. But she's... I love her. I think she's hilarious. Honestly, Lemon's my favorite out of the girls, if I'm being honest. I just think she provides the most fun. It would be the most fun for our boy to actually be in a relationship with. But at the end of the day, Anna is a chaotic gremlin in of herself. The idea that she's trying to justify, like, hey, I ate a little too many of these noodles and it's pretty much just carbs and sugar. And he's basically saying, like, but bruh, you're drinking sugar. Like, what's going on? This is my favorite thing about people. Is the number of people who don't look at drinks as being one of the worst things for calories, because she's like, drinks don't count. And I'm like, I had to freeze. I'm like, drinks are literally the worst for calories. She probably had a 400 to 500 calorie drink there with the ice cream and the sugar and everything. And I'm like, bless her heart. She is so simple-minded. But just a chaotic episode. And I like the fact that, like, even though we technically still have an element of the whole, like, loser heroine going on, I do think it's a misunderstanding, mind you. I don't think there's any cheating going involved. But I appreciate how now we have a better, bigger scope of what this is. And it really is a focus on the school collectively. The relationship struggles, the misunderstandings, but most importantly, the fact that the characters are always batshit wild. They're constantly just exaggerated, expressive. So if we're in a library, we're in a classroom, it doesn't matter. The characters are having fun. And because the characters are having so much fun, their mundane BS that they're going through growing up in this wild, wacky ass school makes it work. So rather than this being a show that has to exist just because of, well, ultimately, if a heroine isn't losing, then it's no longer entertaining. No, we don't need that. There's going to be plenty of misunderstandings, I'm sure, about thinking they are losing. But at the end of the day, we're actually just watching a school series with characters growing up, and the chaotic adventures just being amplified in this very eccentric kind of anime fashion. It's brilliant. I didn't think the show could be as entertaining as it was up to this point, because really, for me, the big star attractions, while I did like the characterization stuff, was honestly watching how these different girls were failing and how they were twisting tropes and cliches. I thought without having that really in our face, the episodes wouldn't be nearly as exciting, but they proved me wrong. And at this point, yeah, this will remain a contender for anime of the season. Let me know your thoughts and feelings though down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Galtron, Aishokin, Daw, Kieran Dean, Draco Burns, The Legend of Sora 73, and we also have Shadow. So I appreciate the support, everyone, and please take care, and you all have a good one.